Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Famous Dave.
And this is a pre-show and this might be a premature pre-show. We've done these before where we're not even sure what the title is really. This says, "We Want OGs." What do you think? Is it real?
I hope that's not the actual title of it. But isn't that... What was the show that they did with the OGs that Mark Long started to say that he wanted this to do OGs? Do you remember that?
Oh. No.
This whole season is based off of this. Oh my gosh, how do we not know this?
Wait, no, this is what he wanted though, I thought. This was what he was campaigning for, and now it's happening. Right?
Yeah, well, he campaigned for it because some other show is doing the OG thing.
Oh, really? Oh, I have no idea. I only know this show. I don't know what other people do. I don't know what Survivor does. I know a little bit about Big Brother because my, oddly enough, little brother was like, "Hey, man, I like Big Brother." I'm like, "Thanks. I like you too." He's like, "No, I like the reality show Big Brother." Dave, I could only talk for so much. What are you looking at here?
I was trying to figure out what the other show was. I don't know. Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe I'm lying.
Okay, well, this is a pre-show, and it's definitely premature. Oddly enough, with almost all mature challengers, right?
Yeah, these are all of the people who have been. The most of them are from like 15 years ago. Well, 10 to 15 years ago, like that range.
I didn't even try and figure out how long it's been, but it's been ages, right? In terms of challenge years, you know, the random fan would be like, "Holy fuck, I was like in college the last time I saw Katie." You know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah. It's all relative. But for sure in terms of challenge years, because, you know, challengers age almost twice, right? Because it's 2 seasons a year they film, you know? So a lot could happen in a season, and you're a totally different person. So there you go. But we have, I believe it's 14 men and 14 women. We have no idea what the structure is. We don't know how, is it going to be 2 big teams or individuals or pairs? I personally, we talked about this before we recorded. I want a duel. They're not going to do a duel, but that's what I want. What did you want? Two big teams?
Well, okay. So I think a duel is probably the best case scenario. But what I want is for them to just have a season with OGs on one side and then new school on the other side. I don't want only all OGs in a cast. Like, we want OGs. I don't want all OGs. Like, do you? Like, this season sounds horrible to me, Vince. I don't want to see this. I want to see like the all-star OGs on one side, and then all the people from the new school on the other side, and I want to see that. Only OGs is not appealing to me at all.
Right.
Am I crazy?
This is all really new. And I'm still just trying to get over the fact that I'll be able to see Abram again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just looking at these names. I'm like, that is fucking awesome. It is interesting now that, it's all OGs. And that's why I'm asking. I'm like, well, what is it? How are they going to pair off? What's going to be, you know, how is the voting going to happen and shit? But you know what, though? I like that it's all OGs now. I do. My original idea was to have old school versus new school, but I would have called it Battle of the Ages. Basically, all challengers are divided into 2 parts, age 29 and under and age 30 and over. I thought that would be a nice fucking touch, you know? So there you have...
That's what they need to do. Like, that would be exciting to me. Like, this with only OGs... It doesn't even make sense to me, because if I wanted to watch these people compete, I would just go back and watch the seasons where they were all on it. Like, if you just go back in time and like watch it on the CBS All Access, if you can watch some of the older seasons, they don't have them all on there, but you can watch these people in their prime. But instead, we're going to be able to watch them like 10 to 15 years later, washed up. Like, it was like Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell. That was exciting when they were in their prime. I don't need to watch them fight again when they're in their 40s and washed up. Like, this whole season makes no sense. Why do I want to watch this?
So what you're saying is you're basically okay. So there was a thing where the UFC, a contract papers got leaked and exposed, and they were like, basically, when we have a very old veteran who has his last fight, we don't want to give him another old veteran. We want to give him someone who's up and coming, who can tear him apart and take his name, take his spot, get the heat on to the next new guy, because he's leaving us. What good is he to us? You know, it's better to have him destroyed down to make way for the new. I'm like, that's some cold shit, but it's business-like. It makes sense from a business. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what you're saying is you wanted these guys, these fucking Nehemiah, Mark Long, Katie, to go against fucking Nam, Turbo,
And Messi and Nelson.
Yeah, you wanted that to happen? You wanted
Yeah.
Okay, so oh my gosh, that's nuts. You're a sick, twisted fuck, Dave. because
you know what?
you just said they're washed up. They're gonna get torn apart.
No. Like, these versions of them are the washed up versions of them. There were prime versions of them which were much better. What we needed to see was as we go through the cast, you'll start to realize that there is like 6 people that you want to see, and then like 8 people that you don't give a shit about, for the guys and for the girls. So like you have Abram and Darrell and Derek and Mark Long and Cyrus, and you're like, dude, that is sweet. And then you look at the rest of the cast and you're like, Nehemiah, I don't want to see Nehemiah. Like, some of the people, like, if they would have just kept the cream of the crop of this cast and cut it in half, then it would have been great. Instead, we have like Jemmy and John A on the girls' side, and it's like nobody wants to see them. Like,
well,
if they would
those
have just
technically
cut it in half and put it with, you know, the old school versus new school, I think it would have been a great idea.
Can you look up something while we're talking? I want to know when. What did we say? John A and who's the other one? The newer one. Let's look up when they show. Yeah. What year technically was that season where they were on? I know they were both on Rivals 2, so that had to have been. Oh shit! That might have been a while ago now. Maybe 9 years ago. 10 years ago. So I think we have to be looking at it from the point of view of other viewers, you know, like a lot of time, a lot can happen between seasons. And again, 2 seasons a year. Yeah. You got a year for us?
So I think John A was last on Battle of the Exes 2. Cook was last on Free Agents.
No, right? She was not. Not that Cook. There's no other Cook.
Cook That's and faulty. Cara Maria, right?
That wasn't. No, that was Rivals 2. Rivals 2.
That was Rivals 2? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. What year was Rivals 2, though? What year?
Rivals 2 took place in 2013.
Okay. Again, though, that's what, 8 years ago? Could you imagine, you know, someone's like, hey, man, I watched the show when I was in high school, you know, and Cook was there. And that was 8 years ago. I've graduated. I have a job, a wife, a life, you know. Cook, she's coming back. That's OG. To that person, Cook's OG. To us, you're like, you just showed up, Cook. I'm glad you're back, but you know, that was 8 years ago, dude. That was a long time ago. So, Cook, you're someone's OG. You're not mine, but you're someone else's. Some fuck named Tim. Right?
We know you're watching us too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get on to the fucking actual people that are showing up. All right. And then all I have, not from where they're from, but the last time they were seen. Right.
Okay.
Here we go.
And then we have to give them all a thumbs up of approval or a thumbs down.
Oh shit! Oh my gosh! Again, some of these people are old, so they might not be able to get completely up at this point. Maybe like this.
Maybe kind of angle it.
Yeah. Okay, what we're gonna do is jump from guy to girl, guy, girl, guy, girl.
Okay.
Right? Okay, first one on the list, Abram. I love Abram. He's one of my. He's always been like my top 3 challengers of all time, and I'm glad he's back. And no Maria to be just awful to him, So that's nice.
Yeah.
Last scene in Bloodlines.
Bloodline. What year was that? 20.
Oh, geez, I don't know. You have the thing, but he still counts as OG because he started way back. What was his first one? The Gauntlet, and that was like 2000, something like that. 2001.
Yeah, he's been there for a very long time.
Yeah.
Bloodlines was 2015, 2016. It was in like December of 2015. But yeah,
Wow.
Abe's been there for a very long time, and it's great to see him back. Like, I completely agree. I'm like, Abe is one of the all-stars here, and it's going to be nice to see him without Cara Maria because that's kind of messy. But it sucks. Spoiler alert, Johnny Bananas is not on this cast. So, like, Abe versus Johnny Bananas is an awesome, like, that was the best part of Bloodlines, was those two guys going head-to-head. It was a cool rivalry. And
it was.
It's kind of a bummer that Johnny isn't there.
I, for one, am actually really glad Bananas isn't there, Wes isn't there, CT isn't there. Because, and that's what makes the next person so irresponsibly annoying. Anissa, she never left.
I know.
Sure, she's an OG, but to me, the idea is that we haven't seen them in a long fucking time. Anissa never fucking left.
Exactly.
God damn.
You can't make a comeback if you never left. Like, this season's supposed to be about people coming back to the show, but she's been here all along. And
oh my gosh. Okay. All right.
well,
Well, we already
formats to just like keep her on the show. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's remember the first spinoff was Champs versus Pros, and then second season rolls around as Champs versus Stars. Champs is still in the name. Anissa's on Team Champs, even though she's never won before or since.
Yeah, she is immune to all logic when it comes to casting. They'll just put her out there.
Okay, let's get off Anissa and on to the next dude. Holy shit, it's Ace. Remember Ace last seen in Inferno 3?
Yeah, Ace is awesome. Like, this is like huge thumbs up. This is like a crown jewel of the cast. Like, like, it's very like obviously I want Ace there and I want Timmy there.
Oh, Timmy. No. Timmy, Theo are not here. Yeah. That sucks.
But like Ace is one of those guys where I wanted him to be there, and I'm glad he's going to be there.
Yeah, he was always like the guy who was like, he always got eliminated first and stuff, and no one really believed in him for a while. And then his last was Inferno 3. He got to the fucking final, He did a great job. It was great. So he was definitely in an upward trajectory. Next, we have Arissa Hill from last seen Sexes 2. Do you remember anything about Sexes 2?
No. What is Sexes 2? What?
Oh, like Battle of the Sexes 2. Sorry. I'm sorry. I assumed we were keen enough.
I guess, like, what year was that? Like 2006 or something?
I thought you were going to keep your phone open.
I'm on duty for that? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was a while. Sexes 2, I want to say it was... shit. That's a tough one. That is really tough.
It was 2004.
2004, wow.
Johnny Mosley. The good old days.
Johnny Mosley? Yeah, I don't know what happened to Arissa. Was she one of the finalists? I have no idea.
Well, I'll look up. Yeah, let me take a look here and see if it shows.
Actually, Arissa Hill. I wonder if she's. Oh, I almost don't want to try and guess because I don't want to come off as
Ace
a.
was on that season. He got eliminated in episode 2.
Exactly. That's what Ace was known for forever. They're like, oh, Ace, you knucklehead, you gotta get eliminated soon.
Arissa Hill, she was a runner-up in the final. Her and Coral
Nice.
and Sophia.
Whoa. Okay. All
They're
right.
all in the
Cool.
final. So she made it to the final. She lost to Dan, Eric, and Theo.
Well, that was a terrible final. I mean, there were some cool ideas in it, but it had that awful obstacle where it's like luck, and they're like digging through cow shit, and they're like, "Oh my god, somewhere is a key." Remember that? Yeah, it was terrible.
That sounds terrible.
Well, we have a finalist, so that's awesome. Okay, next we have Alton. Alton is back. You know, I was really excited to see him. Last time he was seen, it was Battle of the Seasons 2012, and it wasn't a very good outing for him. Sorry to say.
It was okay. Like I felt like when Alton was on that season, he was like an OG coming back because a lot of the storyline in that season was how Alton is just like too old and all these young kids running around. Because he wasn't like 35 or something, I want to say, like then. Or at least, I don't know. He was in
And that was
30s.
old to them. They're like, fuck
Yeah.
you, old man.
Like he felt out of place even back
To be
then.
I want to say it was mostly Zach and Frank just going after him. Zach is known to be he really doesn't like the older people. He's an ageist because he went after Brad for the same reasons. So Alton, I'm glad he's back. He's always been like the premier good guy to me. Like he's fucking awesome. But yeah, he had these different shades about him in seasons because he wanted to leave sometimes. You know, he was arguing with his own team. He had this weird relationship with Sarah and stuff like that. And then there was some background stories about something weird going on with him, and production had to get involved or something like that. I don't know. It always seemed like it kind of tarnished his legacy for me a little bit because I'm like, god damn it, I'm a huge Alton fan, you know. So I'm hoping he could come back and right some wrongs, bro.
Cool. All right. I like that Alton's coming back. I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of his. However, I do respect him as an athlete. As a person, I respect him because he's a very smart, thoughtful person. However, even though he's really smart and thoughtful, he is a little like, if he gets emotional and angry at someone, he's not afraid to just like flow with that. And it's entertaining to watch because he's smart, yet he's a little crazy. He kind of has everything as a challenger.
Well, I don't remember that at all, really.
Really?
That take? No. I mean, really the only time you really saw him get angry was like seasons.
Yeah, with like Frank.
Yeah, because like I said, Frank and Zach went after him. They were trying to get him out. He was a really good competitor, and what they were doing was like, you know, mental warfare. They're like, "You're old, and I hope you feel uncomfortable." And he's like, "God damn it, I am uncomfortable, and I'm old." Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and he stood up for himself, and he didn't back down or anything.
Right, all right. I just thought you were trying to say like he's got this crazy, weird anger thing. I'm like, not really. I think he was pushed to a point, but again, there's been shit about him in a negative light. I don't really remember, but what's his name was saying shit. Brandon, do you remember him? He's no longer with us. I mean, in the challenge, anyways.
Shit, I don't know. He's no longer with us.
Brandon, God, he was on Fresh Meat too. He's real chill and shit. He was in free agents and stuff.
He got sent home for drinking a beer before running the Fresh Meat elimination with, was it Caitlin or something?
Yeah, Caitlin. Yeah, but no, the point is that he was on a podcast or a show online, and he did an interview, and he was like, "Yeah, Alton, something. I don't know if we're allowed to say, but something about Alton or whatever." So I'm like, "What? What about him? You know, weird." He was always
You don't
climbing those
know.
little rocks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways,
Well,
let's go on.
this is pointless. We don't know. Something going on with Alton, but we don't know what it is.
And that was also back in 2012, man. That
Oh,
was a long time ago, right?
oh my god. This is old fake news.
All right, next we have Beth. Holy shit, this was a big surprise. I
Oh,
fucking I dug me some Beth back in the day. Beth is
no,
always,
she's the worst, Vince. Nobody
but in
wanted
the
to see her
best
back
way.
then.
You
Nobody
know what
wants to
he's
see her
talking?
now.
Oh no, you're
Oh,
kidding me. Beth's got her fans. Trust me, believe me.
but she has no fans.
She
God,
has her. They're there. They're out there.
no,
Verse.
it's people with like the nostalgia of like, yeah, I remember Jar Jar Binks, and like, no, like in the moment we hated Jar Jar Binks. Don't look back and be like, oh yeah, I like Jar Jar Binks. Like, no.
This is very much like Arrested Development. Tobias with Never Nudes. He's like, there are dozens of us, dozens.
All of us Beth fans unite.
Last scene, Gauntlet 3, where she was in the elimination of the century against Coral. Remember that shit? Yeah, man. I don't know. I thought, I don't know. Okay, fine. Coral beat Beth in elimination.
But didn't Beth just kind of quit? Was that the one she quit?
No, she has quit, but not that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched that one recently, the one where she's like, I don't even want to go in. I'm just gonna quit. And then
Gauntlet 2, I think.
Okay, yeah, it was like just the second or third episode. I feel like it was early in the season. She's like, no one likes me here. I'm not even gonna try.
I think one of my favorite season performances of Beth's was the duel. I thought she had a great little storyline going. It was awesome. And it wasn't even just little. It was like significant. They were like, like let's all unite against Beth and stuff. I don't know. We'll see how it translates in years later. Okay, last scene in Gauntlet 3, when was that, Dave? Do you know? What year?
Let me look at my calculator.
Gauntlet 3 plus yeah.
2008.
2008. Oh shit. That's a long fucking time ago, man. And
That's
she was
12
kind
years.
of older then too.
I remember on the duel, which was in 2006, people referred to her as like old Beth, like OG.
Yeah.
She was OG in 2006, and now it's 15 years later. Oh my gosh. Beth is going to hurt her back or break her hip or something. Like, how old is she at this point?
Oh, buckle in, everybody. Here comes the old jokes. We're only,
I know.
one person.
You know how many medical DQs this season's going to have? They're going to have them in like a padded room with padded walls and foam blocks for them to fall on. This is going to get ugly.
God. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. They're like, today's mission is called the pill line or something like that.
All right. We have a weekly planner. You have to put all your pills into the correct day of the week. And then after that, you have to go out to the mailbox and pick up your newspaper and then finish your cup of coffee.
And then you gotta this puzzle is made out of, it's called a grandkids flashcards. They're like, which one's this one? Billy. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's Kyle. Oh, fuck.
That'd be great. You'd be like, all right, what is Billy's birthday? And you'd be like, May? And you'd be like, no, it's September. And you'd be like, shit.
No, they'll be like, when's Billy's birthday? May? It's like, no, it's the same date as your social security number, Grandpa. Oh, in that case, it's all a big scam, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we have Kahada. Last seen on Bloodlines. You had a small little crush on his cousin. That was weird. I remember that time. Yeah. And remember though, holy shit, Kahada, I'm a big fan. And he's always been like, the young scrapper and shit, even though he's kind of a tinier dude. He was always chill as shit. Like I always liked him and stuff. But then when he came last seen on Bloodlines, he got like fucking shredded and shit. Remember that? Like he was like working out and stuff. It was awesome. And then he had that stupid ass lucky elimination against Thomas, I think. Yeah, it was lame. Hated it.
Like, I love Kahara. He's great. He is part of the new school old OGs, right? The new school OGs, because he's a little bit newer, kind of like John A, I would say, kind of that era.
Premiered on the island. What year was that, Dave? You don't have to look it up if you don't want to.
2011 is my guess, but
2011.
Do you trust my guesses, Vince?
Very much so, because I think like Rivals or X's one was 2011.
I was out by 3 years. The island is way older than I thought it was. Just looking at it in the lineup of seasons.
Yeah, that's just because the island's constantly changing times and dimensions and oh wait, no, that's Lost. I'm sorry. Both were terrible, and
Lost is one of the greatest shows of all time, Vince. Just because you don't have the ability to focus on a TV show and watch it from beginning to end.
You know, The Island didn't have very good writers either. Let's say that. Okay, next we have Casey, last seen from the ruins. That was an embarrassing thing for her. I actually thought that's why she was never going to come back, because she was used as the anchor for that team. Remember, the champions were just like, let's keep the challengers weak and never let them put in Casey for elimination ever. And Casey would just like ruin everything for the challengers and stuff. Oh, it was crazy.
Wasn't she the one? Am I thinking of the right season? Is this the one where they were on the roof of the building and they had to kind of and she just didn't? She was afraid of heights and she didn't want to compete. I remember Casey doing this on a couple of
shows. That's exactly her. She doesn't like heights. She's done that many times. Yeah,
and it's so painful to watch, and it's just like, why the F are you here, Casey? You can't do these things. You're too scared. Like, just leave.
But now she's back. Super, super shocked. Next we have Darrell. Oh my gosh, Darrell, last seen right now. You know?
Yeah. Darrell, he's consistent. Like, if Darrell didn't come back for this current season of Double Agents, he would have fit more with like they've been gone a while, because before that it was what?
Dirty 30?
Dirty 30, yeah.
Yeah, because he was like sent in episode 1, and yeah, it wasn't even his choice or something like that. I don't know, it was dumb.
But Darrell is from that OG era, I feel like. He was around back then. So
you approve. Ooh, do you think it's old OG versus new OG as you try to put it?
Perhaps.
Holy fuck. Okay, well, Darrell would be on old. Oh my god, this is too confusing. Let's just say there's no other way to put it really. This would be the younger team. This next person, Cook. Last seen Rivals 2. Actually, only seen on Rivals 2. She was a one and done person.
Yeah. I can't believe they got her to come back. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she was like on a soccer team or something like that, and that's why she didn't come back. She was like, fucking soccer, man. You know, I'm like a fucking athlete and shit, so. And that was a long time ago. That was probably almost 10 years ago, you know? But who knows, really?
For her one season, we all loved Cook. She was adorable. She was a really good competitor. She helped carry Cara Maria, her partner, through a lot of it, which, like, going back and watching it, it was amazing how Cook was the better of those two people, because Cara Maria now has, the titles and the accolades and all that. However, Cook, who just had a one and done season, showed up, was her partner, and was better than Cara Maria.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of like Kara's worst performances or something. It was bad because Kara's been like she's had so many seasons up until that point too. That it just made it all worse. It was pretty bad shit. Next we have Derek, last seen getting second place from in Dirty 30. Or should it be technically getting rid of Joss in whatever season that was, right?
Oh yeah, he was like a heavy hitter mercenary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's been argued that that's the best elimination of all time. On a lot of lists, it's been there. Yeah, so there you go.
It is one of the most epic physical matchups ever.
Yes.
Yeah, I like looking at this cat. Well, we're not done with it yet, but I feel like Derek and Darrell are like the two favorites.
All right. What? Not Abram? Oh my god, I can't believe
No, not Abram. Sorry.
No. Well, last time we saw Jemmy was Final Reckoning. I don't remember anything about how she left, who she was with, or anything really. Do you?
She's just good at commenting on other people's drama, and
Yeah.
like that's basically like she's kind of like the Anissa role where they just give her the camera time, let her talk shit about people and kind of say funny shit. But Jemmy actually has a good sense of humor, and I like when she's able to do that because she's kind of like a female version of like Devin, where they have a good sense of humor, so they're good at kind of narrating other people's drama. However, as a competitor, she's completely lacking in every sense.
Yeah. Well, I will offer the. Okay, so confession. She's great at it, right? One of her most sticking thing, her most iconic thing she ever said, or whatever you want to say. She was like, "Bananas will never win again after he stole that money from Sarah, in Rivals 3." And for the longest time, Bananas couldn't get to that final, Jemmy,
So
you're a
Breck
fraud.
came out and
Jemmy is
decided
a fraud.
to not give all the money to Jen, but split it up so Bananas could share first place.
Yeah, that was mostly on production's part, right? Yeah, they were just like, no, we want Bananas to win. Yeah. We hear that he wants to do his first look instead, which was true, right? Yeah. Or no, it was like scheduling conflicts or whatever. Okay, off to oh my gosh. I haven't thought of this man in a long time. Big Easy. Last scene last scene in Battle of the Seasons 2012. But you know what though? That's when he eliminated Wes in Hall Brawl, the very first Hall Brawl ever, in episode 1, and took out Wes in that same episode. Like, that was pretty cool. That was like his most iconic thing he's ever done, next to die in that final in Gauntlet 3. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dying in that final, that will always be like the thing he's remembered for. But yeah, beating Wes. What was the and then that later that season, him and Camilla ended up losing.
He quit.
Yeah.
Remember, because they were playing water torture where like he had to go upside down and
Into
like
the
read
water.
a thing. Yep, come back up, and eventually he's like, no, fuck this. That's why Camilla's like, you are a loser.
Well, because Camilla was telling him, go down in the water. And then Eric, like Big Easy, just starts to argue with her, like, no, I don't want to. And she's like, that's what you're supposed to do. Go in the water. And Eric, like, stop telling me what to do. And then he just like, I'm not doing it. And then he like tried to make it into like a fight, like, oh, I got a shitty partner. That's why I'm not doing it. It's like, no, you suck and you're quitting.
Okay, so also last scene, he actually lost a lot of weight that season. He was probably in the best shape he's ever been in. So who knows? That was a long time ago. That was in 2012. Do you think he's like, I kept on that same trajectory, or is like, fucking like everyone else, I fell back?
He's definitely lost weight, I would say, because the only reason he would come back was if he wants to show off, like, hey, I lost 40 pounds. Like, I feel like that's the only reason he would come back. Like, if he had gained another 40 pounds, then I doubt he would come back. Right?
All right. No. That's fine. That's fine. Next we have Gisela Delgado, last seen in Gauntlet 2. I have her written down that she was on the veterans team, but she was the first female to be eliminated by Ruthie. So I don't know if how she performs. I don't remember. We should have done research, but we didn't. No.
Yeah, what's her name again?
Jisela Delgado, Delgado.
I really don't know her at all.
But if she, all I'm saying is, if she did lose, she lost to Ruthie, but that's not really giving us too much information because Ruthie's pretty good,
Yeah, Ruthie
So,
would be like when I go back and watch those old seasons, Ruthie is one of the best competitors there.
Oh yeah. Okay, moving on to Letarian.
I can tell you a couple quick hits here.
All right, let's hear.
According to the internet, she was on Battle of the Seasons in 2002. She made it to the 6th episode. She was on Battle of the Sexes, made it to the 5th episode. She was on Gauntlet 2, out on the 5th episode. And that's it. So she was on 3 seasons back then.
And okay. So she's good for about 5 episodes or so, and then they're like, wait a minute, Gisela, no one knows how to pronounce your name. Get out of here. All right, next we have Letarian, last seen in Gauntlet 1. I remember Letarian. It's one of my favorite seasons. Almost every person cast on that season is great. I don't really remember too much necessarily, though. Like I said, I wish I would have went back. I probably would have been able to say, like, oh my God, Letarian was in the army or wanted to be in the army or something like that. That's the only thing that's coming to my mind, actually. I think he was in the army.
I don't remember anything about this person. Like, maybe I'd recognize his face, but based off the name, I don't remember him at all.
Next we have John A. from last seen on Battle of the Exes 2 as being emotionally battered and bruised by Zach the whole time. Oh, God. And I'm surprised she's back as well. Like, she really had to deal with some bullshit from Zach. And as a competitor, she wasn't that bad. She's a tinier person. I do know that. That much is true. I don't know. What do you got to say about John A? Are you more of a Jasmine fan? Because there's only 2 types of people out there.
Am I Team John A or Team Jasmine? I am probably Team Jasmine.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Like, John A just does nothing for me. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I feel like she's too new to be old school.
Well, she's not, right?
But apparently she's not.
Rivals was her first one.
She's tiny. She weighs like 95 pounds. She can't do anything physical. Her personality is boring, to say the least. I don't know. Like, she doesn't offer anything. She'll get into drama arguments, and I don't know. She's like Nani to me. It's very similar to Nani, where there's nothing about them I feel like Nani's probably a little bit better of a competitor, but I don't know. I think she's kind of a nothing to me.
Wow. Well, Nani goes out of her way sometimes, or gets too confused, and then she's like, I guess I should fight someone. John A doesn't really do that, that's the only disagreement I have about that whole thing. Moving on, we have Mark Long, the supposedly, this was his brain child, right?
Yeah, he's the architect.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And there's a small little thing written here, host question mark. But if he were to be the host, that means all the numbers would be off. So I think he's competing. It wouldn't be a surprise if he did host. He did host a season of the challenge. Do you know which one that was?
I just looked at it on my phone, but I wasn't paying attention. I saw it and then I tilted my head that's interesting, and then moving on. What season was it?
He actually co-hosted with Eric Niles or whatever. Battle of the Seasons 1. He was a co-host. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope he competes.
Yeah. Is that possible?
Oh gosh! Oh no!
Why not?
I don't want.
TJ.
Oh, TJ would be counted as an OG, but in terms of bringing back people instead,
if you could bring back Johnny Mosley, that'd be amazing, or Dave Mira. But I think Johnny Mosley would be cooler.
And also, Dave Mira isn't with us anymore. Ooh. Dave. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're still waiting to hear back from his representatives. Hopefully, he'll give us a call back.
Let's see. There was other hosts though, wasn't there? Let's see here: Mosley, Mira, TJ, Mark Long, Eric Niles, or whatever his name is.
Gladys, I think those were Anna Bria, David Edwards, David Puck Rainey.
David Puck was a host once. That's right.
On the very first season.
Okay, moving on. Katie, last seen in Cutthroat. I know Katie might be controversial for people and stuff. I can see why, but I'm a fan. I like her. I don't know. I think I've heard them say oh, she loses her temper and stuff, but I'm like, yeah, against Veronica. And who wouldn't in that situation? I don't know. Then people do gang up on her. They have, Kenny and Bananas and Evan saying Katie's no one likes Katie. You know what I mean? So then you have all these legions of watchers nobody likes Katie, guys. Watch. You know what I mean? They got the wrong idea. I personally like Katie. Sorry.
Yeah, those guys like Evan and Kenny, they're just a bunch of frat head meatheads who just like to bully people. Katie is awesome. Katie is one of the real OG chicks on the show, I think. She was from that era where you would just drink, party, and yeah, you get into some fights, but that was the fun of it, Katie can hold her own. She's good enough as a competitor. She's not one of the best there, but she's competent enough, and she's a lot of fun to have in the house. She's one of the better personalities. She's intelligent. She's one of the best finds for this cast, I think. I'd much rather have her here than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, this really pops out. Even though I was all hey, man, Beth has her fans and stuff, I wasn't as excited as I was when I saw Katie. I was oh my God, Katie! I remember an episode in the Inferno. She has this moment with her, she accidentally puts on Icy Hot instead of deodorant or something like that. I don't know. It's really? this comedic little moment. Was it? I don't know. Okay, so glad she's back. Nehemiah's back. Last seen in Rivals 1. And I got to say this. Maybe you're not a fan, but you have to admit that he was kind of wronged by Evan in Rivals 1. Remember?
No, well, remind me. What happened?
There was a plan. Evan was his partner, and he's we're going to try and get CT and Adam out, so I'm going to vote myself in. But he never told Nehemiah. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's right. Oh, my God.
And, and just the way he did it, they hung on the thing, fell in the water. You had to swim with all your might to the one thing, right? So they do that, they fall, and then Nehemiah is swimming his heart out to get over here, and Evan's there. He turns around and is like, does anyone know how to get to the elimination and shit like that, you know? And TJ's like, I'm not growing up ever, guys. Yeah, it was a weird thing to say, but
Oh, that's I remember all of that now that you say it. Like, that's awesome. Yeah, like Evan completely sacrifices himself because he is such an idiot that he thinks, oh, I'm the only one who can take out CT, so I'll go against him. And he does terrible. Like, Evan did this a couple seasons where he wanted to go against someone big. Did he do it against Johnny Bananas or something?
he's lost twice to CT, and he's called him out both times. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand what Evan is doing. He's an idiot, and he totally screwed over Nehemiah. Nehemiah, to me, I best remember him from the duel with him and Beth making up a fake relationship with him.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's weird that he's coming back and Beth is also going to be on this season. Because we're going to see that fucking moth to a flame. We're going to see that clip over and over. And I do not want to see it.
My little tenderoni. She's That's awesome. Wow. I didn't think about that. That's great. I'm glad that they're reunited.
I remember reading online that Nehemiah was super pissed off about all of that because he's like, we never slept together, yet Beth would keep talking about it, and production put together all this stuff. And it was like, we cuddled one night in bed, but nothing happened because Nehemiah didn't like her like that. It was just the fact that they both didn't have any friends in the house. So they were naturally drawn together because they didn't have anyone else to hang out with. And Nehemiah was just always bitter that Beth was trying to make it seem like it was a relationship with those two when it was never.
And also Nehemiah's like, and plus, handies don't count. Right?
They do count, Vince.
Okay, next we have Kellyanne, last seen in Rivals 3. Holy shit, you know what? I have missed Kellyanne. I don't know. I'm a fan. I know she hasn't gotten to a final in a long time. But just in general, I like her. She has gone a little crazy though, you know, like Katie crazy. People call Katie crazy sometimes, and Tanya, you know what I mean. And I think Kellyanne started off somewhat level, I think, and then she just got crazier as she's been on. And I still like her. I don't know.
I don't feel like she's that crazy. I mean, when you put her up against other people on the challenge, she's definitely gotten weirder. She's definitely more weird. But I don't know that crazy is the right way to say it. What was her first season? Was it Island or was it before Island?
Island, yeah.
It was Island. Okay.
Yep. And she did pretty good. I remember she outdid Rachel, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. It was cool, right?
Yeah. It was a good elimination. Remember, Kellyanne and Kahada had like a little thing going on, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because then Kahada, what was it, like the next season or something like that? Kahada was with Nani.
No, that was like seasons and years later.
Was that years later? Yeah. Okay. But like Kahada was a bit of a player back then.
No. That was the whole thing. Like the next season was Ruins, and that was when Wes was with Kellyanne and Johnny was with
banging
Kenny
in the living room. Wes and Kellyanne.
Kahada's just in the corner, beating off to the whole thing because I don't think he had anyone at that point. All right. Next we have Ryan. Holy shit! Last seen in Fresh Meat 2. Remember this dude?
Ryan?
He's like, I'm kind of like a double agent right now.
Like agent. Gay Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. I didn't know he was on this season. That's awesome.
Like gay Ryan? I don't think there's other Ryans on this show, Dave. I think he's just Ryan.
Well, yeah, but I've never seen like the first 6 seasons of the challenge. So if there was a Ryan from back then, I'm not going to know.
Oh, okay. Anyways, last scene on Fresh Meat 2, he was with
Well-
Teresa.
It was like when you were talking about Brandon. If you would have just said Black Brandon, then I would have.
Where's White Brandon? Well, he got Frivels through.
Yeah. You have to say, you have to point out the thing that makes them different. All right.
Well, anyways, Ryan, he's back. You know what? Fresh Meat 2, I'm biased because I really liked that season. So Ryan was on it, and I liked him.
Yeah, Ryan was great that season. Him and Jen were like the two rogue agents.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they didn't have to. That's when production didn't have to put a Post-it note on the thing and like this is where people betray each other. Just let it happen organically, and this will happen. Producers, for fuck's sake. But he's back. He wasn't a bad competitor. He wasn't the greatest. He's just kind of Ryan, right? Next we have, holy shit, this is a blast from the fucking past, man. This is Kendall from the Inferno 1. Remember her?
Wow. Yeah.
Holy shit. She had a relationship with Mike, or it was on and off or something like that. I don't know. It was complicated, I suppose.
Mike the Miz?
In the parlance. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why the Miz isn't on this show. His wife probably wouldn't let him.
Oh shit, yeah. That's right. His wife, what's her name?
Maurice?
Is that her real name?
Yeah.
She's a wrestler too now, right?
Yeah. I think she's from Canada or some shit. Something like that.
Oh.
She's like French Canadian, and she has like a weird French Canadian accent.
Gotcha. Well, Kendall's back. Really, I think she was the one and done as well. She showed up. Yeah. I think did she win or she lose? She won. Yeah. She was on Road Rules. Yeah.
I just remember her as being like cute eye candy. Like.
Yeah, nothing more. Yeah. No personality.
Nothing more. Like, I don't remember her as a competitor at all. I just remember her being like a cute girl, and that was it. But
right now she's gonna be a cute woman. Last seen in Inferno 1. What year do you think that was? How many years from then? She's probably like a fucking, she's got kids and shit now, I'm sure, right?
I would bet that was in 2004.
Oh, 2004.
Inferno 1.
Yeah, she's probably like, I got a fucking family now, and since this coronavirus thing happened, I gotta fucking work. I need some work,
Yeah. I think I think you just touched on something there. Is that the whole reason this OG thing is happening? Is the fact that everyone has been in quarantine because of coronavirus? That MTV calls them up and is like, hey, we're doing an OG season. We want you to come back. And all of these people who haven't thought about being on the challenge in over 10 years are suddenly being like, you know what? You only live once. Let's do this, And they're like, I got to get out of my house. I got to, it's like, I got to do something exciting with my life because sitting in front of my TV for a year straight has been hell.
Right. Like they might have, they're not on TV. They have different jobs. And a lot of people aren't working. They haven't been working for a long time. So maybe Ryan was like, oh my God, I work at Hot Topic, but for what now? You know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking he'd work at like Bed Bath & Beyond or something, or Bath and Body Works or something like that.
So we both agree he's working at a mall.
Yeah. Selling scented soaps or scents or something.
God. Okay, next we have Cyrus. Last seen from the ruins. Cyrus the Virus. And remember, this guy, you want to talk about like old school and shit? He was always considered the old man whenever he was on the show, right? That was always the thing. Like even back in Inferno 1, like one of the fresher or the more recent earlier seasons, they were like, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, I don't know, I feel young at heart. They're like, yeah, well, They're old.
Yeah,
But
like
he yeah.
Cyrus was that old man back then, so now it's just like he was slow back then. He was like, he's a big, strong dude, but he's kind of slow. Now it's just like I don't know. But you know what? Black don't crack. So Cyrus has got a chance, you know?
Oh, that's that Oklahoma coming out of you, boy. Dave just moved.
No, that's what
Okay, well,
Kellyanne said. This is a reference what Kellyanne said to Anissa.
not at all. I mean, like in essence, perhaps. No, what I will say though is, could we be in store for a Derek versus Cyrus 2?
Oh my
Cyrus can get his revenge. Cyrus is basically Dustin Poirier, right? And Derek was Conor McGregor, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't really work because with McGregor and Poirier, they were both young at the time they first fought, and now they're both arguably better.
Just
However,
go with me on this. Isn't that great?
Are we sure that Cyrus has gotten better in his time off? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If anything, Derek's been he's performed more since then, more.
Yeah, and like this kind of goes back to my Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell, where we saw them fight in their prime. We saw Derek and Cyrus fight in their prime. Why is it going to be better 10 years later? Like, it's not. It's going to be worse.
Next we have Ruthie, last seen in the Duel 2.
Oh my gosh, Ruthie's back? Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
a huge fan. She was like one of the best people in Battle of the Sexes 1. I've loved her ever since. I mean, and this is also going back to her real world Hawaii. Like, she was like this terrible alcoholic in it. Like, I remember like a lot of the episodes where her just like fucking falling down to the ground, throwing up and shit like that. Like, terrible. And she turned it all around and she started doing the challenges. So I'm like, fuck yeah, man, that's awesome. And she was a pretty good fucking performer, you know? Yeah. So I am fucking, this might be one of my favorite ones to appear, you know? That's awesome.
Do you think she's gonna go back to her like super OG roots and just like drink a lot, or do you think she'll be, or do you think she'll come in clean and sober and ready to compete?
Oh no! You know, wouldn't that be crazy if like everyone's out of shape when they show up? Like everyone. Yeah. And remember Abram? He was the first one we mentioned. When he showed up on Bloodlines, he was a little chunky. He had a little something there. Yeah. He's definitely put on weight since then because there's been a picture of him married to his wife and shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, he totally kind of like, he's got the dad bod. He might not be a dad, but he's got a husband bod at least. That should be a thing. Mm-hmm. Husband bod. Right? Yeah.
See, like, so are they going to go back with like a OGs where they would all just drink and party in the house? Because like these newer seasons, they don't drink as much or get drunk that often. I would like them to be drinking a lot, all these OGs. That way we can kind of like gauge like, oh, Abram's still got a super high tolerance for alcohol. We know he's been drinking on his time off. Meanwhile, like Ruthie would go in there and maybe like Ruthie hasn't had a drop of alcohol in like 10 years. And like she can't handle her booze at all. She's just like passed out after 2 glasses of wine.
That's sad.
It would be fun to see, you know, who's been drinking all these years and who hasn't. Because like true. I myself, I know I'm just like back when I was 21 or 22 to 25, I could handle my booze. Like I could drink a lot and I was fine. But now if I was to do it, I'm totally out of drinking shape. Like I cannot hold my booze anymore. I just don't do it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a totally different thing. I mean, who's going to be in shape? Who's going to the drinking thing, we're probably not going to see too much of it. Right? I actually want to know, and we should have done research. I want to know the youngest person on this cast. Right?
John A
Like,
is 32. I saw that.
is 32. Okay.
So it could be her.
I want to say Cook might be the youngest
Possibly. Well,
because she's one of the more newer ones that ever really played.
What was her season? Cutthroat?
Cook, Rivals 2.
Rivals 2.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so next I wanted to bring up Tech Holmes. Last seen in the Challenge 2000. Never seen it because it's the very first 4 they never had elimination. You know?
They did.
People would, they would be on 2 big teams and they would just work for money, and then whoever won the very last mission would be the winners, and that was Real World versus Road Rules. But Challenge 2000, let's focus more on where he's from. He's from Hawaii, Real World Hawaii with Ruthie, and he's also the guy who became an actor, sort of. He was in Van Wilder. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, he was in Van Wilder?
Yeah, he was the assistant. He was the let's break it down for Dave. He was the black dude with the blonde hair, Dave. Can you think back?
Okay, I know that guy. He was the one black guy in Van Wilder. It was only one.
Right. That meant that was kind of huge at the time because it's like, dude, you were on Real World. How did you somehow get into this major motion picture with Ryan Reynolds and Cal Penn? You know what I mean? But yeah, he did it. He done did it. So yeah, he's going to be on the show. So that's kind of something, right? Next we have
T Money Holmes now.
I have no idea. Let's hope so. Is T Money Holmes here?
He was in Van Wilder, Hole in the Wall, First Daughter, NCIS. He's like a big name actor. Well, not big name, but he's got a lot of different movies. None of them are any good, but
yeah, he's not Jamie Chung big, but he's big. He's in movies.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
never heard of him.
But yeah, he's gonna be there. I just remember him being funny. Like when he was in Van Wilder, I'm like, yeah, makes sense. I remember him and Ruthie, like she'd be like throwing up. She's like, oh my God, I'm drinking my life away. And he's like, jokes. I got jokes about that. All right. Next we have Sophia Pasquez. I don't know. Pasquis. Last seen in Battle of the Sexes 2. I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
I don't know either.
I wanted to do research, but again, I didn't have the patience really. Yeah. Sexes 2. On to the final man on the list. Yes. Last seen in Battle of the Sexes 1. Do you remember Yes at all?
Please yes is the name? I'm very confused.
Answer in the affirmative.
His name is Y-E-S, yes?
Yes.
What? That's not a name. What is his last name? Or no?
No, it's I know this. Duffy, I think. Yeah. Which is another language for or no.
What season was he on?
He was on Sexes 1. He was on Seasons 1. He was actually, I remember him just because he was paired with Veronica and they were voted in episode 1 and eliminated. Yeah, I remember that. But I forgot he came back for Sexes 1 and he must have just got voted out like they did for those sexes challenges. Yeah.
Yes, Duffy. I've never heard of him.
Why? It's a very positive message, no matter how you slice it, right?
Yes, I'm surprised. He looks super generic.
I'm surprised the band didn't sue him, right? You ever hear of the band name Yes?
Never. He's only 42. He was on
Only
Challenge
42.
2000, which he won. And then Seasons and Sexes.
42. For some reason, I suspect a lot of them to be hovering around 40, right? Does that sound about right? Mark Long has to be at least 50 because remember when he was on X's One, the whole time he's like, "Ooh, try doing this when you're 40," you know?
Yeah, it's all like 40 to late 40s. Well, not all of them, but the older people are 40 to.
Oh shit. Fuck, man.
I'm going to look
right,
at
and
Mark
finally,
and see how old he is because maybe he needs to be a host.
I want to say he's in his 50s. Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then finally, the last woman on the list, Trishelle. Last seen on Rivals 2. Remember Trishelle?
Trishelle. I mean, Trishelle.
No, not Trishelle. You know, when it comes, last scene, she was getting in a fight with Anissa. And again, Trishelle has her flaws, but I will side with Trishelle over Anissa. Ugh.
That is true.
Gosh. Yeah. And you know what? Trishelle was actually, I really liked her before that when she was in Battle of the Seasons 2012. Remember her and Dustin worked together really good, and they got into the final and stuff like that, took second place. And then she came back for Rivals 2 with Sarah, and she just got in that stupid fight with Anissa, and then she decided to leave, and it really sucks. I don't know. I think overall, I'm a fan of Trishelle. Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of Trishelle. I am happy that she's coming back because she did leave on a super sour note, and I think this is like a good opportunity for a little bit of redemption. She can go off on a better note than before. I don't really like her as a person. I don't dislike her, but I don't like her. I don't know. She's fine, I guess. I think I find her super annoying just from the Battle of the Seasons with her and Dustin. I thought she was super annoying the whole season, and I kept waiting for her to get eliminated, but she never did. She just hung around forever.
Yeah, she was also kind of like Alton, you know. They both came back. They would be considered OGs then, and when they came back in 2012. Yeah, she did stick out, but she stuck in there, man. I don't know. I think Trishelle, she's not going to be boring to watch. There you go. Right? That's a positive, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some people where you're like, what? I don't even remember you when you were last seen or ever, you know? So I think Trishelle is something I don't mind watching again. It'll bring me back to early 2000s when I was watching her, you know?
So, Vince, is it possible? I just had this pop into my mind. Is it possible that this season will be set up like an OG Rivals, where you could have Trishelle and Anissa as a team, or Derek and Cyrus because they went into an elimination? I don't know. Maybe Nehemiah, Beth. I don't know. Maybe it's not a Rivals, but somehow pairing them with someone that they had some kind of interaction with.
Well, then they should have called this show Grudge Matches, you know?
There you go.
Yeah. That sounds
maybe
way
it'll
cooler.
just be like a play on vendettas or, you know, old school beef, you know?
Rotten beef.
Yeah. You know, the gang squashes their beef.
Well, that's all the cast. I don't know. Yeah, I wish. God damn it, we probably should have waited. You know, overall, I'm thinking like Dave, because we just recorded a full episode before we did this, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if we should. And then we didn't do any research, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if we should.
And that's the whole point of a premature pre-show is
you
just throw it out there, you know?
Yeah, and afterwards you're like, I'm sorry, you're just very pretty, and I haven't been with a girl in a long time. I'm so sorry. Right?
It happened. I swear this never happened.
Oh, man. Okay.
So let's the cast, the people who aren't there that should be there. We wanted Timmy to be there. He's not there. On the girls' side, we want Robin because Mark was always there.
Oh
Robin,
no.
yeah, she's completely like the worst in every way, and we all hate her. But she is OG, and the fact that Mark is there, we want Robin to just live in the past again. Talk about her old relationship that lasted all of like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that would definitely be old grudges. Yeah, my shit.
Yeah. Who are some other people, OGs, that we wanted to be back?
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
He's never been more popular outside of the challenge until like the past few years now. Like he's doing shit, you know.
Yeah, he's got a podcast. He's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Very famous.
I think we're both always rooting for Landon to come back. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah, Landon. I didn't even think about that as an option. That's like the holy grail of an OG cast member coming back would be Landon.
If Laurel came back, would you say like, no, she's not OG? I refuse Laurel.
I don't necessarily think she's OG, but if they're letting John A.
Not your OG. That's the thing, Dave. You have to know this. People are way younger than you. You are way older than them, and to them, that's Laurel is their OG, and I have to accept. I have to accept it, man. Why don't you?
I'm fine with it because it's to me, OG is the people in like the first 10 seasons of the challenge.
Okay. All right.
So
okay.
I get it that Laurel is OG to someone, and that's fine, but it should have been the real OGs, like that generation. Because it's like talking about like boomers, Gen Y, millennials, Gen Z. Every generation has their own OGs.
I like it. Okay. That makes it make way more sense. So Anissa like, being there would still count. She's from that same era, you're saying. Like there's like the Jurassic period and then the oh god, I don't know the other ones. Damn it. There's other ones though. Cretaceous.
The Mesozoic era.
Mesozoic era. Okay. Yeah. But there, you get what I'm saying. Like there's layers of time and shit. Just like fucking yes. He won Challenge 2000 in tech, you know. I never seen those episodes ever and probably never will. They're lost to time. But hey man, I think we should circle up the podcast.
I mean, I wanted to mention a few more people that they missed out on.
All right.
Like
all right.
Tina. You remember Tina?
Yeah, I remember.
No, we don't really want it back. I guess it's okay.
I see your Tina and raise you a Jillian.
Oh, Jillian, that would be great.
Yeah.
What about Julie? Remember Julie?
Oh, I love Julie. Yeah, she's great.
Really? I hate it. Are we thinking of the same Julie?
Blonde. Later becomes super religious.
Yeah.
For one season, she's super religious.
Yeah. She's such
she'd be great. Why haven't any of us mentioned Coral yet?
Yeah, Coral would be amazing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Well, see now I
forgot about Dave.
David.
Guntoli or something.
Yeah, he's like an actor now.
Is he? Oh shit!
Yeah,
he's on Grimm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he's 40. Thank you, Wikipedia.
That's what we need. Battle of the States. We need because there's a lot of good. We have a lot of people from Wisconsin actually. You said David. I also want to say Sean Duffy, Landon, Teresa. There's others though. Knight, I believe, was from Wisconsin. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, but we have a good solid state. They should eventually have like states versus states, Civil War. Oh God, that's kind of hitting close to home. That was almost a real thing.
Like the Yankees versus the Confederacy.
No, it would have to be like Wisconsin. There's a lot of people from Wisconsin, so we have a team Wisconsin versus another team. I'm sure there's a lot of people from California, right?
Yeah, so you'd have to do like regions. You could do like the Western Division, the Midwest, the South, Northeast.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
Coast.
that way, the Midwest, we get Brad because he's from Chicago, right?
Oh, okay. I thought we were just gonna split it in half, East Coast versus West Coast.
Okay, that's a possibility.
So we would be East Coast. Yeah, technically,
East
right?
of the Mississippi and west of the Mississippi.
Yeah. There you go. Cool. More controversially, we could split it long ways, and it could be North versus South. Yeah.
The Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you know what? I say we put an end to this. I can't think of any other people I'd want to see out here. Actually, you know what? Veronica, you're an OG. I still believe in you, Veronica. Yeah.
I don't. I have no faith in you, Veronica. Stay home. Don't ever come back. Okay.
Harsh.
Okay.
She is a pioneer. She is a fucking pioneer.
I'm a little bummed out that the cast is this big because the only way I thought this would work as an OG season is if they did it like a mini series and they just condense it down to 6 episodes. Because I just can't imagine it going longer because I think it would be bad.
It is a mini series, though.
Is it? Is it only going to be like 6 episodes?
I thought it was just a spinoff. Yeah. Yeah, but that is a good point. This is a huge cast.
Yeah, this seems like a 13, 14 episode season with all this big cast.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's a spinoff. Yeah.
I really hope it's not a full long season because
I would take it. I would take it, honestly. But this is the kicker. The producers also have to live OG style and let them bring cell phones, music, books.
Players.
Let them leave the house and go to a bar. Let them experience the cities and the towns and stuff. Like
not wearing a mask
OG.
Because people in that generation didn't wear masks.
It's very true. Or condoms. Yeah. Well, anyways, you know what? That's it. I'm glad that this is the pre-show, as premature as it is. But thank God. Yeah.
I also want to mention, shame on you, MTV, because Double Agents this season, they've been playing all this 80s music the whole time when they should have been saving that for the OG season. So now when they play 80s music over the OG season, it's going to seem repetitive and be like, why did you do it over Double Agents?
It's very true. Yeah. Although they should be playing the music that was popular at the time. Like a reunion plays back the music that was playing when they were in high school.
And Alanis Morissette, Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, there you go. All right. That's the end. All right. This was like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and Famous Dave.